I actually, to this day, have never seen my sister fall so madly for somebody.
Amber Heard's sister, Whitney Henriquez, takes the stand to testify in her sister's defense.
We got along really well at first. He was sober at the time, and Johnny, when he's sober, is very bright and beautiful and lovely and kind and generous, and he was very easy to get to know, and frankly, we all fell in love with him at first.
I'm Angenette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar podcast, coming to you from the Fairfax County Courthouse in Virginia. This is where we take a deep dive into the biggest moments of testimony in the case of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Now, Whitney Henriquez, this is Amber Heard's younger sister. She was the only witness on Wednesday to testify live in the courtroom. The rest of the witnesses testified via video deposition. And a little background for you on Whitney Henriquez. She lived in the Eastern Columbia building in one of Johnny Depp's penthouses, so she really had a front row seat to the couple's relationship. She told the jury about what she observed about her sister's relationship with Johnny Depp as it progressed.
If he was using or if he was drinking, there was almost always a fight. There was always an argument. There was always a period where they weren't getting along, and it seemed to oscillate pretty quickly. He would be sober for a little bit and then almost just as quickly fall off the wagon and start to use or drink, and there would be some big blowout, and it seemed to go back and forth pretty frequently. There was never an extended period of time where it was one or the other.
Henriquez testified that she used cocaine and drank alcohol with Johnny Depp on many occasions. She testified about the early morning hours of March 23rd, 2015. That's when Amber Heard said that she found text messages on Johnny Depp's iPad, and they were text messages between him and another woman. Henriquez said that she was awakened by her sister telling her that Depp was cheating her. Henriquez gave her account of what happened at the top of the stairs. Remember, the top of the stairs, that's that big incident that we've heard so much about. And this is what happened in Depp's penthouse during that fight.
But I'm standing up there talking, I'm at the top of the stairs with my back to the stairs. And that's when Johnny runs up the stairs. And I'm facing Amber. He comes up behind me, strikes me in the back, kind of just somewhere over here. He strikes me in the back. I hear Amber shout, "Don't hit my fucking sister." She smacks him, lands one, and then he grabs, at that point, that's when Travis runs up the stairs after Amber landed one. But by that time, Johnny had already grabbed Amber by the hair with one hand and was whacking her repeatedly in the face with the other as I was standing there. Travis pulls them apart. I get Amber into mine. I close the doors behind me and lock them. I then hear Johnny's voice shouting.
Never mind, withdraw. Okay, sorry.
I hear Johnny's voice shouting, I hate you. I hate you both. You fucking whores. And I hear crashing. I hear crashing and banging and smashing, and he starts screaming like an animal. And I then just moved Amber into the next room, and I just kept her there all night.
Henriquez's account of what happened at the top of the stairs differs from the account given by Travis McGivern, who is one of Johnny Depp's bodyguards. He said that Amber Heard hit Johnny Depp as he was trying to leave the penthouse with him and nurse Debbie Lloyd. A point on which Henriquez and McGivern do agree, though, is that Johnny Depp knocked over clothing racks of Amber Heard's in her room. At times during Henriquez's testimony, Johnny Depp looked puzzled and whispered to his lawyers. He had testified that he was close with Whitney Henriquez and actually considered her like a sister. This podcast is sponsored by Surfshark. Surfshark VPN get rid of a lot of problems for you with an easy-to-use, one-for-all solution. Surfshark turns you into an anonymous and hard-to-trace online user and makes the internet a safer and more enjoyable place for you. With the click of a button, you can forget about data mining and intrusive advertisements. Use promo code LAW83 to get 83% off, plus 3 extra months free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Surf with your own set of rules. The link is in the description. On cross-examination, John's lawyer, Rebecca Lacarose, questioned Henriquez about the incident at the top of the stairs.
Turning to the staircase incident in March 2015, you testified that Mr. Depp allegedly hit you during that incident, right?
Yes.
But you aren't sure if that contact was even meant for you, right?
I honestly don't. I don't know what he was aiming for. My back was to him.
And you weren't injured during that incident, right?
No, I wasn't.
And you didn't seek medical attention?
No,
And you said Debbie Lloyd was there during all of that, correct?
she was.
And Mr. Depp's security, Travis McGivern, was there too?
Yes, he was.
And you saw your sister hit Mr. Depp on the stairs that day, right?
After he struck me, yes.
You said she landed one, right? And then the next day you found some damage in the adjoining penthouse.
Correct.
And we saw some pictures of what you saw that day, right?
Yes.
You thought it was important to document that damage, right?
Not to document. It was Kevin's job to kind of clean up the houses, take care of the houses. I took pictures just so he could be aware of what he would need to bring. I didn't know if he had tools here or whatever. I was just preparing him for what he was going to have to fix.
But you didn't take any pictures of your sister that day, right?
No, I didn't.
Lacquerose also questioned Henriquez about a friend of hers.
You know who Jennifer Howell is, right, Ms. Henriquez?
I do.
She's the founder of the Art of Elysium nonprofit.
She is.
And you worked there for a time, didn't you?
I did.
Around May 2015, you actually moved in with Ms. Howell, right?
May 2015?
15?
Yes.
And you moved out of the penthouses because at that point you and your sister were fighting, right?
It was, yeah, it was around the time that, he had accused me of leaking stories, and that was the impetus of me leaving.
And you testified earlier, I think, that he had asked you to sign an NDA, right?
At some point.
And that was around the same time that he was concerned you were leaking stories about their wedding to the media?
I believe so.
You and Ms. Howell were close?
We were.
Close enough that you lived with her for around a year?
I don't recall if it was that long.
And you confided in Ms. Howell, right?
About some things, yes. She was my friend.
You called her your chosen sister?
So why did Rebecca Lacquerose ask Henriquez about Jennifer Howell? Well, I'll tell you. They were very good friends. After Henriquez testified to this version of events about the staircase in the UK trial, Howell came forward and filed a declaration in the Virginia case. Howell wrote that Henriquez had told her about the incident on the stairs and that Henriquez had told her that she had tried to stop Amber Heard from hitting Johnny Depp, not the other way around. She also said that she was afraid, Howell says that Henriquez was afraid that Amber Heard might kill Johnny Depp. Howell said in the statement that Whitney had told her she endured that type of violence her entire life, first from her father and then from Amber. Howell went on to write that Whitney told her that Amber Heard had once thrown a glass of red wine at her in an elevator in New York. Howell also wrote that after the incident in Australia in March of 2015, that Whitney Henriquez told her, quote, "Oh my God, she has done it now. She has cut off his effing finger." We likely didn't hear about this on cross because it's considered hearsay. But will we hear from Howell in Johnny Depp's rebuttal case? We just don't know. It's not clear at this time. The cross-examination continued.
You grew up in Texas with your sister and your parents, right?
Correct.
And you were really close with Ms. Heard growing up?
We were.
And you're still close now, right?
We are.
And you love her.
Of course.
And your childhood, though, had some difficult moments, right?
It wasn't perfect.
Your father hit you and your sister at times, right?
Yes.
And your sister would protect you from that abuse when she could, wouldn't she?
We would protect each other, for sure.
And when you graduated from high school, you moved out to Los Angeles, right?
I did.
And your sister gave you a place to live in LA?
Yes.
And she helped support you?
In part, I also was working myself, and yeah.
And you're grateful to her for being there when you needed her, right?
Of course.
And just like she protected and cared for you, you want to protect and care for her, right?
And when I can, of course, but yeah.
Guess who else Jennifer Howell mentioned in her declaration? Elon Musk, Amber Heard's ex-boyfriend. Howell wrote that Heard's late mother, Paige, had told her that Musk had given Amber Heard a Tesla and that she thought it was bugged. Paul went on to write that Musk was controlling and abusive and that he made Johnny Depp look like either a saint or an angel. Howell attributed these comments to Amber Heard's mother, Paige, who is now deceased. Howell also stated in her declaration that Whitney had told her that Heard and Musk were in a legal battle over frozen embryos. I contacted Jennifer Howell this week, and her publicist told me that she is not talking to the press. Also Wednesday, the jury heard from Rocky Pennington. We've heard a lot about her. She was Amber Heard's former best friend. She was a friend of Heard's who lived at the penthouses rent-free, and she said she took a lot of the photographs of Amber Heard's injuries.
Miss Heard ever paint on bruises or use makeup to make it appear as if she had a bruise when in fact she didn't, to your knowledge?
No, the opposite.
What do you mean when you say the opposite?
She often had to cover bruises and injuries on her face with makeup.
Did you see her cover bruises on her face with makeup?
Yes. It is Amber at a slight profile in the same courthouse room. Her hair is behind her ear. You can see a picture of a bruise on her cheekbone. She looks like a skeleton.
Did you take this picture?
Yes.
Based on your personal knowledge, is there any truth to the allegation that Amber did this because she's, quote, a gold digger?
No.
That does it for this edition of Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast. I'm Angenette Levy, coming to you from the Fairfax County Courthouse in Virginia. We've been here all week long. We will have more great content coming up for you on our YouTube channel, lawandcrime.com, and also on the podcast. So stay with us and check us out another time. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and YouTube, and also wherever else you get your podcasts. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.